Hello, welcome back, Boxer1 here, and today we're going to be looking at this LEGO Ninjago movie set. I do have two Ninjago movie sets that I haven't shown off yet, and this is set 70608. It has three figures, being Kai, Sensei Wu, and Garmadon, and a cool little bridge with some pretty cool and interesting pieces. So, let's get into the figures, then we'll get into the build, and then finally my opinion. The first figure in the set is, of course, Kai, and he's pretty cool. He has that very nice, big hair piece, which is kind of interesting. And he does have the bandage print on his face. He is just his normal red torso. He doesn't come with a hood or anything in this set. And yeah, he's pretty simple. He has two swords on his back and that nice little armor piece that holds them. Very simple version of Kai. Comes in many other sets, I believe, as well. Sensei Wu, however, is a bit more interesting. He comes with a cloth waist piece here, and it looks pretty good as part of his little thingamabobber he's wearing. He has sandals on his toe printing, and he looks pretty good. He has a cane, of course, or his staff, I guess it would be, not a cane. And he has that classic Sensei Wu hat and beard. Very nice. Doesn't have any back of head printing, obviously, because he's a bit bald. But, yeah, looks pretty cool. The final figure in the set is Lord Garmadon, and it's a bit hard to see him behind his many swords. He has two layered torso pieces, which are pretty cool. And yeah, he has some nice rags of pants and this little blue thing that goes around him. He also has this very nice cloth piece here for like a poncho type thing that he has going on there. And the newer Ninjago movie style hat, which is pretty cool. I quite like that version of it. That's been used in quite a few sets now. But this, I think, would be really good for like some custom military figures, which is pretty cool as well. But yeah, pretty nice. I think it's a really good figure. I quite like him with the four arms. And yeah, very cool. Holds four swords as well. Of course, after the figures, we have to look at the actual build. I mean, that's kind of important. Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's not too complex, being one of the smaller sets. I believe it is the third smallest of the wave. But it is pretty interesting. It does take place on the bridge scene in the movie in which Sensei Wu gets knocked down into the water. If you haven't seen the movie, you should. It's really good. But yeah, there's a cage there, which Wu builds around Garmadon in the movie. Which you may remember. I said like 1,000 times. Leaves, pretty simple little temple-looking thing back here, or just some ruins of some sort. They use these mini figures there for some detail. And then on the back, there's a skeleton in a little chamber down there with a map, which actually shows some important little spots on it. If it will focus, which we might as well just take it out of there. And there's our skeleton with a little knife or stone piece. And here we can see the map, which is pretty cool. It has on it the Destiny's Bounty at the bottom right. I know my directions. There's the bridge that we're actually looking at. And then there's the big temple at the end, which is a set I have. And I may review it because it is one of my biggest sets that I have. Or it used to be one of my bigger ones that I had. But yeah, pretty cool. The skeleton just sits in this little tomb here, and it does have a big vine piece there. You can move around and see that there's not really much back here. Otherwise, it uses some big rock pieces. And then this is where the actual figures can come from and get up, using two scorpion pieces, which is pretty cool. I always like the scorpion pieces, and they use a ton of them on that temple set that I was talking about earlier. Fire pieces, and a rickety old bridge that's definitely seen better days. You can put two figures on either one of those. I wish they would have done them in light bluish gray, because I think the blue kind of is a bit, obvious. But as you can see, you can have the two figures fighting on the bridge, and then you can have one of them, or multiple if you have multiple sets, climbing around on the bottom, maybe to get a sneak attack or to get the treasure map before the other guy does. You can, of course, put Lord Garmadon in the aforementioned cage, and you can then put him up here, I guess, under this tree, or you can hang him from the tree, even if you really want, from that branch there. And that looks pretty good. I quite like this set, so, well, that's kind of my opinion on it. So let's get on to my actual opinion section. And as you guessed by me literally saying it, my opinion is that this is a pretty good little set. I mean, it doesn't have too much, and it's not too fantastical in terms of builds. Um, and honestly, most of the sets that came out that same year are better. And here's a little look at those. Maybe every set that year that came out is a little bit better. But that in no way means that this is a terrible set. I think it's fine. I like the figures. I think all the figures in this set are pretty good. I don't have really anything wrong with them. In fact, I really like the Garmadon that comes in this set. It's pretty simple, though. The build is not too complex and doesn't have too many great pieces. And honestly, I really like most of the other sets better than this one. But I think this is a pretty nice one. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed. I know I usually don't do these Ninjago movie sets, but I just really like them. And I don't have many of them. I only have 4 out of however many there were. I think there's 10 or 12 that came out that original year. I only have 4, the 3 that I've already shown off, and then the big temple. But yeah, I do hope you enjoyed. I shall see you next time, and goodbye.